computer. Right. Just open this up. Not that way. Okay, here we go. So we're using this book by Ravi Ravindra. I'm gonna put this in the note in case if you wanna look it up. And these sutras, the Yoga Sutras, are the basic yogic text. First showed up in 2000 years ago, and they just 194 short aphorisms, and they need to be unpacked. They need to be sat with. You need to contemplate on it to fully understand, because they are so like lot of things squeezed into short sentences things. And we studied first chapter, Sutra 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to go for the 5 and the 6th one. And I'm gonna send you notes, and it's gonna make more sense. I have my little author that I created last week, and I only added this crystal to it that is suggested that we become this pure crystal, pure diamond, so the energy, Purusha, the seer, can flow through us. And this is the representation or the symbol for that to be. And I am going to share my screen because I put these notes together so we can look at it. My plan is to integrate these sutras into our practice, and then do the little talk, share little stories, and I'm gonna open it up to question or suggestions as well today, when we're going to look at this visual that I also sent you with the class notes. This half Shiva and half Shakti, half female, half male, to see what comes up when you're looking at this picture. But first, we are going to start with these sutras that we brought in the past 2 weeks. So the first sutra is Atha Yoga Anusasanam. Here now is the teaching of yoga. Can you guys see the screen? Yes? Okay. So this is the first suggestion, that we can practice yoga everywhere, wherever we are. That's where we can practice yoga. That's the invitation to practice yoga right here, right now. Although we not in any kind of special shape, but we can pay attention, we can focus towards each other and focus into our body as well. That's practicing yoga right here, right now. The second one is what is yoga? Yoga is establishing the mind in stillness, and the mind meaning the heart as well. The word chitta in Sanskrit meaning the heart as well as the mind. So when the heart is quiet, when she's in stillness, the mind is gonna be in stillness as well, and it works vice versa. When we are able to do this, and it doesn't mean that we're gonna be able to do this by the end of the class, sorry, you know that's gonna happen. It's maybe we get a glimpse of this ease from the mind. That is the nature of the mind is chattering. It's always chattering. It's totally natural. It's just human condition. It's not something that we need to beat ourselves out of it, but find the proper use for the mind, which is in everyday life keeping us safe, because looking out to keep us safe, to not get ourselves into trouble. Although when we want to connect with something more subtle, it's good to have this mind clear and still, so that something can flow through us as well from outside as well from inside, from our deepest reality. So the promise is when the mind becomes still, this seer is going to dwell its essential nature. So we can connect with this subtle reality that is always around us, and this is suggested by all the traditions. There is a subtle reality that is always around us. You can call that the Holy Spirit, the infinite, the subtle reality, God, Allah, Buddha, Brahma, however, nature, just this energy. That this energy is right here, right now, although we're not that connected with this energy until we make ourselves become available. And stilling the mind is the way to make ourselves become available for this energy to connect with us. If the minds are if the mind is busy with the vrittis, which are the movements of the mind, these vrittis, these movements are regarded as a seer. So we can think that, oh, I am so enlightened, and it's just, bullshitting myself, because it's not that. It can be perceived by the mind. It's not, I cannot know that. It's something else than the knowing, that the knowledge that we can get through the mind. And the vrittis, the movements, can be pleasant and unpleasant, and there are 5 of them: true knowledge, false knowledge, imagination, sleep, and memory. So except the sleep, I think they are all straightforward. True knowledge can be a movement that is not serving us to connect with the subtle reality if we're overdoing it. False knowledge definitely can be a huge obstacle for us when we obsessed about something that is not even true. The third one, we can imagine things, how things are, and that could be an obstacle of, in a way, for the subtle to connect with us. Sleep, in a sense, remember Shiva is dancing on this little dwarf at the bottom of the statue. It's the is the demon of forgetfulness. So sleep, meaning when we don't remember our true self, which is the true self, is the self that is it's here even when we're not gonna be in this body. So that true self, not to put the body down, not to not include the body, but that's something that is always there. This is just for a few decades, but it's good to remember that we are here in this body to serve something. So the true is what is in here all the time, serving. And the memory is, of course, it could be disturbing because we are living in the present, we're living in the past, and its suggestion is to be here in the present. So I want to start with a real short-seated guided meditation where we connect with one of these, and I'm gonna name them again, one of these vrittis, which are really in the front right now. So what is that is more dominant for you right now? So make yourself available in a short seated sequence. So what I mean by this is to sit yourself up in a comfortable position. So making sure that you take any stronger discomfort out of the picture. So keeping the body comfortable, it helps this subtle reality to be to come forward. So I'm sitting up on the blanket. So you sit on the couch or the chair or wherever you want to sit and just snuggle in. And as you feel that you ready, closing the window of your eyes or just gazing down, whatever you feel comfortable doing. And clearing breath, inhale through your nostrils. Open your mouth and sigh out. And then one more. And just listen of these 5 vrittis, movements of the mind. Which one is the one that is the most dominant today for you? Is it true knowledge? Is it false knowledge? Is it imagination? Or sleep, in a sense that we are not aware of our true nature? We think that we are only this physical form that we are in for a few decades? Or is it memory? So once again, true knowledge, false knowledge, imagination, sleep, not being aware of our true, essential or real nature? Or is it memory? So hopefully you're able to identify with one or two. Beauty is charged with true knowledge. I've been studying a lot to be able to bring these classes forward, and I do need to balance that out, for example. And guiding us through a short practice where we're going to place our out breath to different parts of our body. So bring your awareness to your right arm. Inhale through your nostrils and exhale slowly out through your nostrils or through your mouth, and placing the out breath as it would be your left hand onto your right arm. 2 more of this. Simply placing the out breath on your right arm from your shoulder down to your elbow, to your wrist, to your fingertips on the right. 1 more breath. And then gently move your awareness down towards your right leg, placing the out breath onto your right leg from the hip to through your thigh into your knee, calves, shin, ankle, and right foot. Two more. Placing it on the right leg. Make sure you're releasing all the air before you're taking your next inhalation. Gently notice how the right side, right arm and the right leg hopefully feels different from the left arm and the left leg. So hopefully you're sensing the effect of just bringing your awareness and the subtle reality towards the right, how it makes a big difference into sensing the right from the left. Then gently guide your awareness towards your left arm and treat her with 3 exhale placed on her. From the left shoulder to the left elbow, the wrist and the left fingers. Make sure you exhale fully before you take your next inhalation. Beautiful. Moving the awareness towards the left leg from your hip to the thigh, knee, calf, ankle, toes on the left. 3 exhale placed on this left leg. Exhale fully. 3 additional breaths towards the back plane of your body. So when you're ready with the exhale, place on the back of your head, back of your neck, upper back, shoulder blades, mid back, lower back, sacrum, and the glutes, down to the back of your legs if you wish, or just the head and the trunk. So really being aware of the back of your head, the neck. Let the breath flow down through your shoulder blades, mid back, lower back, and the glutes. 2 more. Manner back. Be nice. Gently bring your hands on the center of your chest, hands on the top of one another. And last 3 breaths into this heart center area where you're touching your body. Let it radiate out throughout your entire front or towards the limbs, towards the back. Just let it happen, whatever wants to happen. Distributing the prana, the subtle layer of the breath, wherever she wants to go. And eventually bringing palms together in front of your heart center. Taking a clearing breath and sounding out 3 ohms. Exhale everything first. Inhale. Open your mouth, side out. Inhale for the first ohm. Go on your own. As you feel ready, release your hands and then slowly, slowly take your time opening your eyes and just come onto your back, hugging your knees into your chest. I'm gonna bring us back on the floor. Stop sharing the screen. Here we are. So come on your back, hug your knees in. Wobble side to side. Draw some circles with your knees. Keep returning to this. And then release your feet flat on the floor. Inhale, reach your arms up next to your ears. Elbows might be bent or arms totally straight. If this is too much, just bring them out to the side. Exhale, release your knees towards the right. Inhale, bring your knees back. And exhale to the left. 2 more on your own. So the first sutra is Hatha Yoga Anusasana. The practice is here right now. So the suggestion, the invitation is become present, become in the now, and then get good at focusing on the little details, like you rolling from one edge of your foot to the other, inside of your foot to the outside of your foot. And then coming back to the center, wobbling your knees side to side. And then exhale, just open your arms out to the side and bring them out, out, out to the side. Feet are hip width apart, wiggle your shoulder blades under a little bit, arms are alongside your body, palms facing down. And with your inhalation, press the floor away, slowly peel your glutes, lower back, mid back, and upper back off of the floor. And then exhale, roll back down. 2 more of this. Inhale, press and lift up. And then exhale, roll back down. Easy does it. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, roll back down. Place your hands onto your belly. And then walk your feet a little bit wider and a little bit away from your glutes, just so you feel a little more supported by your feet. It's not so close to your glutes. And with your inhale, bottom stays on the floor, everything stays on the floor. We're just gonna create this arch with our lower back. So if you want to check if you're doing the right thing, if you slide one hand underneath your lower back, there is a tunnel. Your bottom, your glutes are on the floor, upper back is on the floor, but there's a tunnel underneath your lower back. This is your inhale. Remove your hand, put it back on your belly, and exhale. The tunnel is getting flat. No tunnel anymore. Navel to spine. And just this inhale, creating the tunnel, arching the lower back, and then exhale, flattening the lower back. I hope this is straightforward. One more like this, inhale, arch, and then exhale, flatten. Now continue with 3 more. So inhale, arch, and then feel how your chin comes closer to your chest, back of your neck is extending, exaggerate a little bit, so you get a little more back space, length back of your neck. And then exhale, navel to spine. Notice how your chin is coming away from your chest, and the curve in the back of your neck is a little bit more curvy. Inhale again, arch, chin to chest, and then back of your neck is long. And then exhale, the lower curve in the back flattens, and the chin lifts, and there is a curve happening in the back of your neck. So we just moved our awareness, same practice from the belly to the neck. One more, inhale. Chin comes close to the chest, back of your neck is long, feels sweet, hopefully, for you too. And exhale, navel to spine, and the chin is lifting up, and the back of your neck is getting a little more curvy. If you're not sure, you can reach back and you can feel the curviness. Let's do one more. Just make sure that you got this. Inhale, belly arching, chin to chest. Back of your neck is nice and long. Nice stretch over there. And then exhale, lower back flattens and the chin is lifting up. Back of your neck is curvy. All right, let the effort go. Lengthen one leg at a time, arms alongside your body, and just let yourself be here so the body can take in the benefit from the movements. Clearing breath. So we are at the stage where we becoming more into the now. Hopefully you feel less connected from that vritti that you discovered was your main vritti movement of the mind lately. I mentioned mine is like overstudying is the true knowledge, and perhaps yours something else. It feels farther down the road, which I'm really happy about noticing that. More I'm here on the mat present right now, which is integrating the first sutra by practicing it. This is an experiential science, art and science, this yoga. Transformation happens when we make the effort, when we practice it. That's why it's called experimental science, experiential science. And finally, just let the effort go. Just stay here for 2 breaths, rewarding yourself with not doing anything, basically. Beautiful. Inhale, point your toes, reach your arms above your head. Oh, feels so sweet. Exhale, hug your knees into your chest. And then roll over your left side. So roll over your left side and place your left arm, elbow bent, underneath your head. Just hanging out here. Some of you know these movements. Inhale, the right arm is reaching up, the palm is facing forward, or maybe even towards your ear. This is your inhalation. And then exhale, you just turn your palm forward and back. So just turning your palm from the back to the front. Inhale, palm facing forward. And exhale, palm facing back. So just spiraling the whole arm. Notice when you inhale and palm facing forward, your shoulder is facing back. And exhale, palm facing back, and the shoulder is spiraling forward. One more inhale. And then exhale. So now your palm is facing back. Bend the elbow and place the top of your hand on your lower back. I'm going to turn around so you can see me. So this is what I mean, lower back, and you can slide your hand up towards your shoulder blade. So wherever you feel the stretch on your shoulder, that's where you're going to stay. And then you roll back and you pin this arm down underneath you. Feet can be flat on the floor. So our right hand is pinned underneath our body, palm facing down, back of your hand is underneath your back. And if you bring obviously your palm up more towards your shoulder blade, that's more stretch in the shoulders and less when you bring the arm down, the hand down towards your lower back. So the first step is just allow your body to become heavy. Feet flat on the floor, knees can be together, supporting each other. This is usually less. Lengthening the legs is a little bit more in, can be a little bit more in. So I'm gonna stay with bending my knees. And the play in here to allowing the body to become heavier. So it really weights the hand down, gives the hand a little massage, and a nice stretch on your shoulder, on your right shoulder. And some things that could be helpful, you might want to move your head, not even wobble, just slowly move your head side to side. Wiggle around a little bit, make your lower back a little bit heavier, sacrum a little bit heavier, whole entire trunk a little bit heavier. And finishing up with 2 breaths. We've been practicing this kind of breath when we really focus on the exhalation, emptying ourselves fully and staying on empty for a couple of moments. So inhale, exhale through your nostrils, and the exhalation really just letting all the air out. So go for that. Making sure that you empty, 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 empty. Sometimes it takes a longer time to really empty ourselves and holding it out on empty for a couple of moments and then inhale again. And then same. Finding the emptiness fully and hanging out on empty for a couple of moments. Usually find a little more release physically in the body as well, and you take a note of your own experience. And the third inhalation, just simply lean. Feet comes flat on the floor if your legs are straight. Just simply lean towards the left, so you free this right arm out and just come back on your back. Right arm next to your body, left arm next to your body, palm facing up, legs are straight. Take a clearing breath. And just notice how the right arm feels different from the left. Perhaps it feels warmer or more spacious. So this is a constant suggestion from every spiritual tradition. In every spiritual tradition, study ourselves. closer and closer, deeper and deeper to get in touch with the subtler and subtler sensations in the body. Just enjoy this sensation, how the right feels different from the left right now, right here. So the sensation that you feel in your right arm, that's the kind of sensation that we looking for to penetrate or included in our whole entire body to be able to let this subtle reality to be touched with us, to make our body a little bit more sensitive in a way how your right arm is sensitive. So just please take a note of this. Perhaps it feels like that you're holding a sleeping kitten in your right palm right now. Perhaps it feels like you're holding a cloud or a cotton candy, or your right arm feels like a cotton candy or a cloud. So if you put a phrase or word on it, it helps our mind to get involved, and she's not feeling excluded and doesn't rebel. It helps us to slip back into this state easier and easier. Beautiful. Let us just repeat this same on the other side. So perhaps just stretch your legs straight, arms stretch out, and then exhale. Hug the knees back in, and you turn on the other side. So you turn on the right elbow underneath your head, lounging here, and the left arm is reaching up. Inhale, palm facing forward or even more towards your ear. And then exhale, the palm facing away from you and eventually behind you towards your back plane. And inhale, so we're gonna do 3 of these. Inhale, notice the inhale, shoulder turning back, it's a spiral. Exhale, palm turning back, out, shoulder turning forward. I believe one more. Nice. Next time, exhaling, palm facing towards the back. Start bending your elbow. Top of your hand lands on your sacrum, and it's the top of your hand is sliding up towards your mid back or shoulder blades, wherever you feel the stretch is enough in your left shoulder. And then you simply roll back and pin the hand down underneath your back or sacrum. Make sure that you put the body as much as you possibly can. Not too much stretch, just appropriate stretch in the left shoulder. Right arm can be on your belly or alongside your body, knees bend. I usually like to separate my feet a little bit and knees together so I don't have to hold them. But you might want to lengthen your legs if you wish. Sometimes moving the head side to side can be helpful. And then eventually coming back to stillness whenever you're ready. And allowing your sacrum, your lower back, your mid back, your upper back to be affected by the gravity. Like let the holding go, the engagement go, and trust that the earth, the floor is still gonna hold you. Perhaps you're sensing the breath, even with your hand, which is underneath your trunk, underneath your back. How the inhale and the exhale affecting the pressure coming off of your hand a little bit with the inhalation and the exhale. Really let the ribs give it to the hand, give the weight to the hand, which is underneath your back. 2 more breath cycle, practicing exploring the bottom of our exhalation and staying on empty for a couple of moments. Inhaling, exhaling through your nostrils. Really taking time to let all the air go fully down to the bottom before you pause and then take another breath. Nice. And as you feel ready, feet flat on the floor, and then just roll over to your right a little bit so you can free this left out, and just place the left arm next to your body, palms facing up, both palms are facing up actually, and lengthen your legs. Take a clearing breath perhaps, and now feel how the left feels hopefully warmer, more alive, or like holding that sleeping kitten or newborn chick or a cloud on in your left palm. Maybe you can feel the left arm outside of the physical boundaries. So these are the subtle and subtler sensations that we are looking to connect with, looking to have our body, your whole entire body like this. So our mind can become more still, our heart become more still. So this whole entire body becomes a suitable instrument for the subtle reality, the seer, to connect with us for a hot second or so. All right, go for 2 more breath cycle. Let go of any effort. Just be here, doing nothing. Inhale, reach your arms up with your toes. Oh. And then exhale one the other time, excuse me. Into your chest. And then roll over one side and slowly bring yourself. Then come into your cross-legged position. Hands placed on your knees. Then inhale, lean forward, and just upper body roll a little bit when you feel your foundation. When you roll back, feel pressing down on your glutes. When you roll one side, shin, and other side. So just read this direction, and then reverse the flow and move towards the other direction. So we are preparing the body to become this, come into this stillness state, coming back to the center. So it becomes an instrument for the subtle to be able to connect with us. The seer, some calls it Purusha, some calls it God, some calls it universal intelligence or higher intelligence or the energy of the nature, God, Buddha, Allah, however you call that subtle reality. And then next inhale, just bring your heart forward, roll your shoulders back and down, lift your chin up. And then exhale, move back, rounding your back, chin towards your chest. Take your time, 2 more of these as well. Move it very slowly. Beautiful. And then come back again. So we kind of gave a little attention to the lower part below the navel with the Sufi roll, if you wish, the trunk with the arching and rounding the spine. And now our head. Now the head could be a real problem. So we're gonna pay a little longer attention to the head. First of all, with our massage. So most of you are familiar with the massage. First, you open your close your jaw, move side to side. And then you can bring your fingers up, and while you're doing the moving side to side, open and close, or moving the jaw in circle, you massaging the jaw. Beautiful. Beautiful. You guys are doing it so beautifully. And this is an invitation to listen to your real teacher, the one who is inside of you, and let your hands guided by her or him. So your fingers might want to slide up towards your temples, maybe want to go behind your ears. I really suggest to bring them towards the base of your skull and draw some circles there, even pulling the skin apart at the base of your skull to create a little more space in here. We are going to look for this skull being balanced well on the top of our spine. So perhaps a few more moments here, massaging the areas around the head and the neck that the inner teacher is calling you, the real teacher is calling you to massage. And as you feel ready, gonna do 3 humming. So some closes the flip in the ear or goes inside of the ear. The other fingers can rest anywhere, and 3 times just with exhale, sighing out or sighing out the sound. So 3 of these. And just take a clearing breath. And hopefully you enjoy the state that you put yourself into. Hopefully you became more present. You are here now. Hopefully the mind is much more closer to being still or even totally still. And hopefully you can sense your body more on a subtle level. The sensation is more subtle than how it was at the beginning when you were connecting with that riti, the movement of the mind, that it was the most prominent right now for you. And just bring your chin to your chest and let us come forward onto our hands and knees. And then go ahead, just coming to your tabletop position and just one cow hanging there for a moment or so, and perhaps one cat. And then swing your right foot forward. Inhale, bring your hips back, heart forward, toes bend, knee bend, tailbone points up. And then exhale, perhaps you walk forward and soften your hips towards the floor. Inhale, you come back, tailbone points back, heart forward. Then exhale, forward. Now stay here for a couple of breaths and just swing your hips side to side, massage, oil that left hip, maybe letting your head go. And then coming back, stay straight, tuck your back toes under, and press back, come into your lunge. And then move your hips back just one time. Inhale, come on forward, release the back knee, and step the right back. Other side. Left comes forward in between your legs. Inhale, bring your hips back, foot flex, point tailbone back, heart forward. And then exhale, walk forward and let the hips sink towards the floor. Inhale, moving back. Tailbone pointing back, heart forward, and exhale, moving forward, letting the hips sink. Staying here, just swinging your hips side to side in any degree for a couple of breaths. So basically looking over right shoulder, left shoulder, if you want to go into the details a little more. And then tuck your toes, right toes under, come into a lunge. And then exhale, move your hips back. Bring your left towards straight, right back of your leg is stretching. And then we're gonna just move ourselves forward and back, and we're gonna bounce ourselves forward. The right foot gonna step forward when you have a chance. Maybe in two steps. So forward, fold, feet are hip width apart, holding. And just bending one knee at a time and swing yourself side to side. Awesome. Bend your knees. 4, and then slowly roll up. So with your inhalation, knees are bent, head, arms are heavy, and slowly you feel your belly uncaving. Your heart is uncaving, and your head ends up being on the top of your spine. I'm gonna turn the screen up so you can see me. And then feet are just a little bit wider and hip width apart. And then reach your arms up. So just creating a little space. Remember that sound ah, that it's in the ow. Just imagine that you are on the top of a mountain all by yourself. You are this joyous child, and sound out the ah, reaching through your fingers and your arms 3 times. So big open space, big ah. Nice. Bend your elbows, and with your inhale, just press your palms away from each other. So flexing the wrist. Good. Exhale here. Stay. Reach through your wrist. Inhale. Good. And exhale. Turn your fingers back and down. So same bending. Bend the elbow. Inhale. Stretch out. Good. Exhale here. Inhale. For the hands in, so bringing all fingers together like a peacock head and flexing the wrist back. So this is the hand position that I'm suggesting. Yeah, so hopefully you can like this. Yeah, all fingers together and reach, bring your fingers for the wrist in, and but reach through your wrist at the same time, but for the fingers in. Good. And then turn the fingers down. So just same, just a peacock head is down like this. And then reach through your wrist, but the wrist is, hands are forward in it. Good. One more. Nice. And then as we started, flex the palms back, bend the elbows, and then press out like you're pressing away a wall. And then soften the elbows, soften the knees, make sure that you are grounded, a little bit of soft knees, grounded, and then slowly start turning your palms facing towards each other. And now we're slowly coming towards each other, palms come towards each other, and sometimes we can feel an invisible force, energy in between our 2 hands. And sometimes it helps to feel this energy when you fluff it up. So you move in and out a little bit. And if what I'm suggesting is not there, simply return back to your breath. That's another subtle force that we can connect with. Now, as we come in, and perhaps your palms, they don't want to go together all the way. If you have this energy ball, subtle sensation in between your hands, and you feel that you want to play with it, you can bathe yourself in it. Sometimes I like to bring it towards my heart or towards my face, and I kind of like transfer it into my whole entire body. So just do what feels right for you. And then eventually just ending up in our mountain position, feet are hip width apart, and feel very aligned with yourself. So sometimes when we come into this mountain position after we prepared our body and we gently press down, lengthen through our top of our head, soften shoulders and balance your head in a way that the back of your neck, the base of your skull, it's like widen a little bit. Sometimes we can find this beautiful alignment where we feel that something is holding us up or holding us, pulling us up. And again, if this is not something that you can feel, simply return to your breath, placing the entire breath, the exhale onto your entire body. 2 more breath cycles here. Hopefully you sense your whole entire body being more subtle, feeling it more in the subtle realm than just in the physical realm. And this is the preparation. This is one way of a preparation to prepare the body to receive something more subtle, something that is invisible to the physical eye, but can sense it with your inner eye. Unless you feel ready, bring your chin towards your chest, and then let us gently sit down to continue the little discussion. Yay. And I'm gonna come back and share this screen again. And I am wondering, how was this practice for you? Can any of you share how did it work, or it didn't work, or what was your experience? Yeah, unmute yourself and please, if you have anything to add, I would love to. Rosa?
Oh no, it was good. It was really good. It's just been toxic. I've had a lot of toxic energy. Just toxic energy, and it just helped clear it. So just what the doctor ordered.
Happy to hear that. Thank you.
Clearing.
Thank you. Thank you. Bill?
Hi.
Hi. Did you want to share?
Jeez. Let me see. Yeah, I found it very helpful to, you know, especially with the putting the arm behind the back, especially my left arm, which is a little more stuck. But it's very interesting to think about that as opening these channels of energy through stretching them and relaxing into them. So that was very helpful.
Beautiful. Thank you. So happy that it worked for you. Anybody else?
I just would like to share, it feels really good. It feels really intuitive to go slow. And it really brings me in touch with the subtle body and how my body really feels, as opposed to a flow and thinking only about the physical movements. I get way more in touch with my body with slow movement and pranayama.
Yeah. We do have to slow it down because the subtle is so tender that we can only can it can only be in touch with us when we slow down to that slowness. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Diane.
I figured out how to unmute. I also loved the hand under my back and opening my shoulder and focusing on the subtle after. It was kind of tingly, but it really helped just on a physical level. But I wanted to say that the vrittis, you mentioned all those different, like, what was it? Absolute truth, false truth, memory was one of them. What was the other? Imagination.
It's right up here. Imagination, sleep, and memory. Yes.
Okay. So that's kind of all of them at once for me.
Oh, how interesting is that? Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, I think they're related. Like memory sort of triggers a kind of sleep. Like you kind of, if you're living out in a memory or out of old past wounds or whatever you want to call them, that's also a kind of being asleep.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and
indeed.
it's like your imagination too. And the whole untruth part for me in this sort of quarantine isolation is that I think that other people are not experiencing it the same, in their way. So I, just to know that everybody is going through this in their own way is a kind of being more awake for me.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yes, it does. It is really helpful when we don't feel alone, when we, that we are in this together.
Yeah.
And yeah, I am with you.
Yeah, but those vrittis are really triggered to me by
Yes.
certain situations.
Yes, they can be really acting out when we get challenged. They can get really wide. Yes, yes. It's not easy to sit with ourselves. This is the same sitting with ourselves 24/7. No distraction of work and anything. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is can I show? Yeah, here you are. So this is the quote. This is one quote that I keep coming back to. It is really helpful for me, and I hope it is helpful for you as well. When I lose direction or I'm frustrated, or what is this whole thing about? Me being here. Why am I here? So this is Ravi's teacher, Madame de Sassman, and she's saying that there is an energy that is trying to evolve. That is why it comes to the body. If a person works and helps the evolution of this energy, at death, the energy goes to a higher level. If one does not work, the energy returns to its own level, but the human life is wasted. So I do believe that what we do in here, working to getting to know ourselves better and how we work and learning about how can we be a true instrument so the energy can work through us. We prepare the body, the mind, and the heart so the energy can work through us. We really help in the biggest, most effective way to the world. That's why I feel like these teachings are so very important to integrate into our life. And I'm gonna return back to the other quote just a little bit. I wanted to bring up the little drawing that I sent you after the class. So what do you make? Do you guys wanna share? What do you make out of this, or how did this affect you? How you feel about this drawing of Shiva being half male and half female?
it seems like, well, to me, I see balance, like finding those parts of yourself and balancing the feminine, the masculine, the dark, the light, and even Shiva, the way Shiva's sitting, even though it's not symmetrical, it's very balanced.
Yes. Yes. Very good observation. Anything else that any one of you want to add?
It's interesting because apparently we're moving into the age of Aquarius, which is the age of the divine feminine.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been with the divine masculine for 5,000 years. And this is the change that's going on. Of course, the change will take a long time. But I was thinking today about the qualities of the divine feminine, which I'm sure I've experienced before, but I don't really know. So it just kind of is a question that I'm keeping.
Mm-hmm.
What are those energies that we have, both man and woman, in us that can be experienced and brought forth?
Mm-hmm. And that is a really, really good question. And I admire you to ask that, being in a male body, especially. That makes me hopeful. Yes, yes. It's good to keep a question and make it to a quest. Ravi says the same thing, and I'm really agreeing with him to sit with that question, because the real questions can only be answered by you. The really serious questions only can be answered by ourselves.
One other thing that you're reminding me of is when you were speaking about the left arm. I'm not sure if I heard it correctly, but you said her. And there is a difference between the energies of the two arms.
Yes.
It's very clear
Mm-hmm.
that there's a difference. What those differences are is again another question.
Yes. And the invitation is usually to bring them in balance. And we usually born, one shoulder out, so that puts an imprint, or energetically we can work on that, bringing everything in balance. So one of the practice that I like to do lately, taking note of what is my dominant side or hand or leg that I'm using for certain things, and I switch it out. So for example, we have a little walkway outside of the house, and I always like putting the right front, and the left is just kind of follow it. So I'm making aware of that and making sure that the left gets just as much exercise and attention than the right, so they are balancing out. And also when we are on our back, sometimes I remind you to remember which leg is the one that you bring in first, so take the other one in first. It makes a huge difference. These subtle little nuances there make a huge difference, and everything starts on this subtle reality, and this image is about that as well, for us, inside of us, to balance out the activity and the receptivity, and dark and the light, and the stillness with emotion. So to balance the feminine and the masculine qualities inside of us out. And when we do that, I believe we can find a well-balanced relationship outside of us as well, because we already have everything inside balanced, so we're not looking for that outside. We can never find that what is outside, what is not balanced inside of us. So this image is basically that, including everything, bringing everything together in balance. They are perfectly like half and half in the middle, and they are here together. So it's an integration of these two forces, and one of the name of these two forces are Prakriti and Purusha. So the Purusha is another name for the seer. So if you wanna think about this image as the subtle reality comes together with the created reality, the Prakriti, which is the female is more representing this the physical reality, and the male is representing more of the Purusha, of the subtle reality. And this is again not connected with the male and the female, but the feminine and the masculine. So this image is an invitation for us to balance these two forces out inside of us. For me, sometimes at the beginning, when I saw this image, I tell you the truth, I was judging it. I mean, it was really like, what the heck is this? and and I am surprised that you guys were so receptive to it. So this is really cool. Caitlin, you want to say something?
Animals.
The animals are their mounts. So Shiva is the lord of the beasts, and that's a bull on his side, and Shakti has the lion as a mount, as an animal that they ride. Each deity has their animal mount that they ride, and the feminine part is usually on the left, and the masculine part is on the right. But sometimes in a tantric tradition, showing that the feminine is more stronger, they switch sides. But usually this is the arrangement. So the story about how did this happen, there are two stories.
Gabby,
Yes,
can I say one more thing?
of course.
I don't know, can you guys hear me, or do I need to stop video?
I can hear you.
I have low bandwidth. Okay, because I have low bandwidth. In Sumerian culture, which was about 3000 BC, that was the time of Inanna, the goddess Inanna. And they would have holy parades where the people would dress up half female and half male, because there was deep reverence for the female, and they worked very cooperatively together. The female and the male worked very cooperatively. The female would bring the descending energy from heaven down to earth, and then it would hit the earth and it would go linear. So it would go from imagination to manifest into reality through the men who would carry it out. So they always consulted together.
Beautiful. I love that.
And then, then it was
go ahead.
then it was balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I wanted to share.
Thank you so much for adding this. And it reminds me of Ravi saying that us human being has an incredible opportunity to have these two lines aligned with, heaven to earth, the straight line in our spine, and the horizontal line with our gaze, and have these two lines like included together, as you mentioned, bringing down the energy and spreading it out. Beautiful. I love that. Thank you for that addition. So one of the stories says that Purusha wanted to create a counterpart because he wanted to have a couple who copulate and then, you know, brings more people on earth. That's one story that related to this image. But the other story is goes like when Shiva was meditating. So there are two kinds of aspect of Shiva. One, sometimes he's dancing like crazy, and that's the dancing Shiva statue that we have in here. And the other times he's just sitting quietly and he meditates for aeons. So one time when he was meditating for aeons, he entered into this ecstatic, blissful state. And Parvati, his wife, saw that, and she really wanted to experience this state that Shiva was in. And she went up to him and she said, Shiva, I really want to experience this state that you are in. How can I do that? I'm willing to do any kind of austerity. Just tell me what to do, and I'm gonna do it so I can experience this blissful state that I just saw you in. And Shiva said, you know what? You don't have to do any kind of austerity to experience this state. Just come here and sit on my left lap. So she comes and sits on his left lap, and because she's so willing, she's so curious, she's so open-minded and has the longing in her heart, he just pulls her in. So he is making her part of him. And he does this in a way that he actually gives up half of himself because he accepts her in him. So he gives up half of himself. And in this way, they can be in both ecstasies. So meaning when the feminine and the masculine energy is in balance in us, we can be in this joyous, in this blissful state. So that's the version of the story that I feel, it's my truth. It resonates with me. It's so beautiful. So she's here sitting on his lap. And this is another image, more of the Indian type of image. And I can't believe we have 5 more minutes left. So I just want to return really quickly to Ravi's quote in here. He says that Purusha, the subtle reality, God, Brahma, is lame without Prakriti, without the earthly reality, the physical reality. But Prakriti, the earthly reality, is blind without Purusha. So they both need each other in order to have this balance, and in order to have a complete life, a whole life, and an ecstatic, joyous life. So we have 5 more minutes. Would you like to go in Lula Shavasana, or should we just do a seated meditation? Shavasana, yes, or seated meditation like this? Which one? I mean, no, Shavasana, yeah, and seated meditation. Which one you guys want? Seated? I can't hear you, Diane. Let me unmute you. Go ahead.
I'm voting for Shavasana.
All right. So you know what? Go in your Shavasana. Let's just do this. Whoever wants to go in Shavasana goes in Shavasana, and the others are sitting. How about that? And I'll work with you. So just go into your chosen position. And I'm gonna see what you guys doing, and I'm gonna guide you through something.
Abby, I don't know what Shavasana is.
Oh, the laying on your back at the end of the class.
Oh, got it.
Good question.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Thank you.
All right. So as you entered into the shape, your chosen shape, close the window of your eyes or just gaze down. Take a clearing breath. Inhale through your nostrils. Exhale through your mouth. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. This engages them a little bit, just become aware of them. That, and then soften, soften them. And then if you are in your seated, maybe you can wobble your head a little bit so you can find the place on the top of your spine that your head feels well balanced, where your head feels the most balanced. If you are on your back, you can just move your head side to side if you wish. Just allow yourself to be here. Sense that you are being held. So you can let the effort go even if you're sitting up. Trust that your body knows how to sit, especially if you're laying on the ground. Trust that your body knows how to be. Just allow yourself to sink into this, trusting that your body knows how to sit, or you're on the ground, just letting any effort go. Hold yourself, trusting that you're being held. You're sitting up. Maybe bring your awareness towards your right arm, and the next to exhale, just place it on the right arm. Then move on to your right leg. From there, gently transition to your left leg. And the left arm. And the whole entire body. So as you would be standing underneath a shower of prana, the exhale flows through your whole entire body from the top of your head towards the tip of your toes. Something very magical is occurring when we bring our awareness to anything. Us who is doing the work of concentrating our awareness towards something is transforming as well as the object of transformation. And in this essence, both are you. So for those of you who are on the ground, if you wish to come back and finish the class, close the class with us, slowly bring yourself out of the Shavasana, wiggling fingers and toes, rolling ankles and wrists, reaching arms above your head, and hugging knees in, rolling over one side, and slowly bringing yourself up if you choose to. And eventually gently bring your palms together slowly in a sense of feeling that invisible cushion, if that was felt in between your hands, now, bringing fingers by fingers and then gently palms together. So being aware of all the little details, becoming superheroes of knowing the subtle reality. You bring your hands to your chest, tiny lift in the heart, lengthening to the top of your head. Feel a little more alignment, perhaps like slipping into this shape that it's been there all the time. Your physical body wasn't aligned with that subtle shape just yet, but it it slipped into that alignment now. And then gentle clearing breath after an exhale and Om. So exhale first. Inhale. Slowly bring your awareness towards all those who contributed for you to be here, including yourself. Saying thanks, being grateful for all the sources, teachers, partners, structures that we are in, keeps us safe from the wind, bridge that keeps our food. So all that amazing resources that we have in here. Being thankful for them. I'm utterly thankful for you studying with me. Such a blessing to be here with you. I hope this was helpful for you and you also enjoyed it. Have a blessed rest of your evening. Namaste.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you. Stay
Thank
safe,
you.
everyone. Blessings.
Blessings. Thank you, Rosa. Thank you, everybody.
Namaste.
Namaste. And here is Kali. Look, she's there, the little kitten.
Oh.
So cute. Just a handful of little new
It's a
life.
real handful.
Everyone's got their little babies.
Yeah.
Those are babies.
Yes.
So sweet.
Thank you so much. That was magical. Thank you.
Oh, so happy that it works for you. Thank you for being here again, Jessica.
Thank you.
Abby.
Thank you, Julia, Diane, Caitlin,
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Ella.
See you next
Anita.
week.
See you
Good
next
night,
week.
everybody.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.